Hello everyone, my name is Ard and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be taking a look at LEGO Star Wars set number 75387. This is boarding the Tantive 4. It's a LEGO Star Wars 25th anniversary set with the 25th anniversary box art, as well as the inclusion of a 25th anniversary minifigure in 5s. It came out March 1st, 2024. For $55. It has 502 pieces and 7 minifigures. You've got replicate or duplicates of a couple, 2 normal Rebel Troopers, and then 2 normal Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, Captain Antilles, and the 25th anniversary 5s. When this set got revealed, I think it was one that I was really excited for because I love this style of set. A little bit of a scenery build with some nice minifigures included. The figure that I definitely was the most excited for was probably Captain Antilles. He wasn't a character I had and was definitely one I was excited to add to my collection. When it was revealed, I overly really did enjoy the build, and while building it, I did as well. I think the play features are really executed quite nicely, and I think overall it just looks quite nice. There are a few stickers included in the set. These details throughout the wall there are stickered pieces. That's a sticker right there on the top as well, but the door, which I'll show you the function of, is a print, which is a nice inclusion. They keep the white and light bluish and dark bluish gray colors quite nicely here. There's a bit of red from just the solid red color, as well as translucent red. Throughout the build, you can see sort of the Technic mechanisms, of course, right on the outside for flipping over the different grunt minifigures. And you still can see the little knob, and if you will turn it a little bit, you'll see this door one. So it's not necessarily the prettiest build, but there at least aren't really that many ugly colors included for the Technic pins. They are the blacks and the light bluish grays that just don't really stand out all that much, since of course those colors are used throughout the build, which is nice. I really like these sloped arches throughout the hallway. I think those look really nice, as well as the shaping around the door, I think is definitely a highlight for me of this build. There's a lot of studs on the flat surface for the ground of the build, and then which is great for just placing around minifigures. I think you can create a few scenes with what you have here. Of course, Captain Antilles getting choked by Vader is what I have here, but I think you have a lot of variation in things you can do, especially if you get a couple other sets that are currently out, something like a Stormtrooper mech. Of course, you can add a Stormtrooper to it. The Star Destroyer coming out, you can add a Stormtrooper from that. You can get Rebel Troopers from Yavin. And overall, I think you can update your scene and change your scene with many sets that are currently out, which is nice, but what you get, I think, in this $55 set is sufficient enough to create a full scene and really utilize the space as much as you probably would like it to. The Darth Vader and Rebel Troopers and Stormtroopers are the same old figures that we've seen for a couple years now. The Stormtrooper isn't anything too special. I guess it is somewhat newer with the white hips, the leg print there, as well as the torso print, back torso print, as well as the dual molded helmet piece, as well as I believe they use different faces pretty much for all Stormtroopers now. Normal black blaster. I'm sort of surprised that they haven't integrated toe printing into Stormtroopers, with them doing it with clones. I'm just sort of surprised they haven't done it there. The next figures, these are figures that have always stood out to me as characters that I've just always really loved to get in sets. I don't know what it is about them, but the Rebel Troopers really stand out to me as one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars minifigures. The torso print is there's no skin tone used around the neckline, so you can really switch the figure out as much as you'd like. I know there is a strapped face print, different face print than this one included in Yavin, so I'm sort of surprised they didn't include that one here to give it to the second one. These two figures are the exact same. They do have different face prints, so you can change that a little bit, and then the light gray or silver blaster piece is used for this figure, and I think it's a pretty solid figure. I always like getting those in sets. I think the inclusion of maybe dual mode legs could improve those figures, but at the same time it definitely works since they have boots. But yeah, I think that's definitely an improvement that could be made on those guys sometime in the future. Darth Vader is the same Vader we've seen for a while, with the arm print, torso and leg print, a soft spongy cape, some back print there, as well as his red lightsaber with the more frosted look that we've seen the last couple years, and then this face print, which I don't think is anything special. I know there's a few different Vader face prints I feel like currently out, and I'm not sure if that's the same one included in the TIE Bomber or not. Now, my favorite figure of this set is Captain Antilles here with that silver blaster. Once again, the torso print I think looks nice, just plain dark tan legs. You've got two expressions for him, as well as the same helmet piece that you'll see on the Rebel Troopers. Moving to the next figure, which I feel like is the biggest point of contention when it comes to this set, is Fives. I guess Fives is, well, a very desirable character, and the excitement for him is there, and I don't think with the quality of the figure that excitement was met. So like all the other 25th anniversary minifigures, you have a base with R2 there, as well as the text printing there. You can take the figure off, and here is the Fives minifigure. It's a pretty detailed figure. It has a lot going on. You've got arm printing, which is a nice inclusion on the figure, the back piece, and then the larger blaster pieces. The torso print with the printed on pauldron I think looks all right. The waistcape is definitely a disappointment here, as well as I think the leg print is overall a disappointment, just having plain gray there instead of the nice striping you see throughout it. But I don't think the printing here on the torso and legs is really the issue of this figure. Of course, a cloth waistcape would have been a really nice inclusion, but it's more when you get higher up on the figure that I feel like a few more issues are brought forward. The pauldron is just very flat. It definitely looks a bit odd. It has some nice printing on it though. Moving up to my biggest issue with this figure is definitely the poor quality of print that is on that helmet. It's just very poor and not really done well at all. One of my favorite parts of this figure though is the really, really nice face print underneath this figure. It just looks really, really quite good. So moving back to the set and its play features, you've got knobs here to knock over figures. You can knock over Rebel Troopers there. It's a very simple function. You've got the little jumper piece and then the movement made with that mechanism there. You've got the same types of mechanisms used for the Stormtrooper. So for the doors, when your characters can enter, here is the back of how it's all built up. So you've got this one as well as this one. You can use both to open the door. Using this one, you can open it up and you've got the little fiery bits of it just being broken into there represented, which I think is really nice. And can it just be pushed back pretty easily. Both work, I think, with the same degree of effectiveness pretty much. There is the back of it where you can see how it's built up and the structure of it. So that was my review of boarding the Tantive 4, and I think this is a really good LEGO Star Wars set. It's sort of a continuation of, I guess, a bit of a different style of set with that was first the Dark Trooper set, and I think this is an improvement on that. I think you get some nice figures here, of course, massable figures in both the Stormtrooper and the Rebel Trooper, which are nice. Darth Vader is in quite a few current sets, but of course totally makes sense for this scene. I think the inclusion of Captain Antilles is a really nice figure. And then the 25th Anniversary 5s, I think has quite a few mistakes, or maybe not quite a few, but definitely a few. I think the pauldron is just way too flat. I think the inclusion of a waistcape definitely would have been nice. But I think my biggest issue with this figure is definitely the quality of the print. That's always been my biggest issue with the newer clones. I feel like the quality of the prints have definitely very much been poor. There's a few good ones, like I think Rex is pretty much perfect, Cody is pretty much perfect, the Shock Trooper is pretty much perfect, the normal clone is pretty much perfect, but then you have figures like the 212, this 5s, and especially Fox, which are just very poorly printed figures, especially in this case the helmet, whereas Fox, it's pretty much the whole thing. So because of that, I sort of had to go out and get myself a custom helmet. So this is just a custom printed helmet for 5s that I ended up buying for it. But overall, I think this is a really good LEGO Star Wars set, and I definitely would recommend it. At its $55 price, I think it's pretty fair value for what you're getting, and getting this on sale or with double points, some sort of promo going on. I know currently you can get the TIE Interceptor polybag by entering a code, and I think that lasts until the end of June. So stuff like that, and I think that this actually, I think, just qualifies for that, because I think it's a minimum threshold of $50, so it might be 40 or 50, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is definitely a really good LEGO Star Wars set, one that is definitely a highlight for me from the year. I love these types of sets where you do get a decent amount of figures, and a nice build like this. I always like these scenery builds, and I definitely have been sort of liking scenery builds a bit more the last little while. Just realizing how many ships I have and I can't really fit them, so I sort of like getting these smaller scenery sets, and I think this is a really nice one. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.